What the hell's going on, Retro Freaks? Welcome back to the least expensive games in our collection mini-series that we are doing. And today it's all about the best-selling video game console of all time.
As of right now.
Yeah, we'll see if it holds out. The good old Sony PlayStation 2.
The PlayStation 2, one of my favorite consoles of all time. A few months ago, we did our top 10 most expensive PS2 games in the collection, and today we're going to cover the top 10 least expensive games. And what's wild is, we're going to talk about 12 games, even though it's only 10 in the series. We'll get into that. But the total for all 12 of these games is $83. And if you watched our 10 most expensive PS2 games, the cheapest game on there was almost $60.
Yeah.
So you could get 12 games for about a little bit close to the same price as one. And some of these games we're going to talk about today are really fun. Some of them are kind of stupid, cheap, but fun.
And just a reminder for anybody who, if this is the first time watching this series, there's no sports games. So we did eliminate sports games from the conversation because we thought the videos would be kind of magoo if it was like Madden.
Here's 06,
Madden.
07.
Yeah. So let's jump into number 10.
Number 10, cheapest game that we have on the PlayStation 2, coming in at $7.99, so just under $8, is Gran Turismo 3, a very straightforward simulated racing game that is actually pretty fun. I'm not a big sim racer guy, but these games are just polished. They are like the elite racing games.
Yeah, for sure. I love 2 and 3. I think there is another one on PS2.
Okay, yeah.
But everything after 3, I never have played any of the Gran Turismos. But so to me, from a graphic standpoint, this is the best one I've ever seen because I haven't played the other one.
It is, what I do like about the Gran Turismo games is they got like all like the licensing for all the cars. So if you're a big car guy, it's really cool because you got like all the different brands and all the different, like it's sick. I like arcade racers like Burnout and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're just getting made up cars in those games. But in the Gran Turismo, it's like, oh, that's a Ferrari. That's like a Cadillac. And I don't know much about cars.
Yeah, I'm not a big sim racer fan either. I don't dislike it. I went hammer time on Gran Turismo 2 and played 3 like a little bit, but I played the shit out of 2 on PS1. And it's kind of in that vein for me of those games where it's like, I got one in me in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I don't need to do it again. I decked out all my stuff in Gran Turismo 2. Been there, done that. But Gran Turismo 3, hell of a game for a hell of a price.
Yeah,
and PS2 is just so awesome to collect for.
For less than $8, if you like simulated racing games, that's a heck of a deal.
Coming in at number 9. This is a game I think we both got at launch, or really close at launch.
I got it really close at launch.
I think you got it for Christmas. I remember I was in my freshman or sophomore year of college when this came out, and I had to get it right away. And I think a lot of people think the game's kind of poor.
But this is one of my favorite PS2 games. Like if I had to make a list, this would definitely be up there because of my nostalgia and the gameplay and the multiplayer. Like, it's just so fun.
We're talking about GoldenEye Rogue Agent.
Yes, a James Bond game, but you don't play as Bond.
Yeah.
Like, it's in the Bond universe. It's a James Bond game, and I love James Bond. But you're playing as a different agent, a rogue agent, if you will. This game is also coming in at $7.99, less than $8 for this game. And if you haven't played GoldenEye Rogue Agent, what are you doing?
Yeah.
The single-player campaign is fun as hell. I remember getting it at Christmas, going over to my grandparents' house and playing PS2 all day. And I still play this game. The multiplayer is fun as hell. We play that all the time.
I think it has 4 players, split screen with the multi-tap.
It's run and gun.
And I think you can add bots, too. I'm pretty sure.
So I really like Nightfire and From Russia with Love from this era, James Bond games.
Yeah.
But this game is right up there with the gameplay and also the multiplayer. If you're into Gen 6 split screen multiplayer, GoldenEye Rogue Agent is
it's fun as hell.
And it's so odd that it's this cheap because this game is so good.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah, and I think it, with you putting like kind of where the bar was set in this era, because there were some great Bond games.
Yeah,
Nightfire is definitely the top of the heap. So I think this one kind of went under the radar, and I think people were expecting like GoldenEye from like N64.
Yes.
And it didn't maybe live up to that hype, but I don't know what they were looking for, because at the time I was like, hey, it has 4 players split screen, let's freaking go.
It is different than GoldenEye on the N64, so it is kind of confusing because it's also called GoldenEye, but it's Rogue Agent. The naming is what lost it, I think, for a lot of people, but if you haven't played this game, less than $8 for it, check it out. All right, the next games, plural, we're going to talk about 3 games because these are all under $8. We're going to talk about Socom 1, we're going to talk about Socom 2, and we're going to talk about Socom Combined Assault 642, 707, and 747. So if you like the Socom games, you can get basically the whole series right here for less than $8 a piece. That's awesome. I was not a big Socom guy growing up, but you were way into it.
Man, Socom 2 I played so much. So these games are the campaign. It feels a little dated, but I think they're still fun because I really love these games. But back in the day where these games thrived was online. And Socom 2, the map Crossroads, I just remember playing the shit out of that with my friends online. I think that there are people who still have this game active on servers somewhere.
That's sick to play online. Yeah, but it's a very niche community.
Super cool games. Is it worth getting if you're not going to play it online? Which I don't even know if you still can.
Yeah, I don't know if you can.
You know, I think the nostalgia's got to be there. There's other stuff that maybe you would enjoy more with more of a modern twist than going back and playing SOCOM. But there's just something about the history of those games that was a really cool, big deal at the time, and be able to control your team and the headset.
Yeah, that's so cool because I had a PS2 growing up, but I never connected it to the internet, so I never did I didn't do online until Gen 7.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that like PS2 was doing that and SOCOM was such a big online game. Like,
it was awesome.
That's just hearing the stories. I'm like, man, I'm jealous. That sounds so fun.
I still remember, like, I can't remember what they were supposed to do, but I think it depended on what map you played. The languages were different, and it was like if you were the terrorists or the the military. But one of they'd throw grenades and go Lechi, and then I can't remember like when you like release hostage or something. They'd be like, I'm sick of it. I hate them. I don't know what any of it means, but it's burned into my skull.
Into his brain. And so those games are really cheap. So if you're nostalgic for them and you want to check them out, less than $8 a pop for these. One of them's freaking just $6. So that's pretty freaking cheap. Now let's move on to the next game.
Syphon Filter makes its entry into the PlayStation 2 era with Syphon Filter Omega Strain.
So is this technically the third Syphon Filter? Because
I think it's the fourth. I think this came out before Logan's Shadow, which was a PSP game.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That did get a port to the PS2.
That's cool. So that means it had done pretty well.
Oh, yeah. But there are 3 games on PS1. But truth be told, I have only dabbled with the PS2 ones. I know the shit out of the first 3 on PS1. Love those games. Actually started Syphon Filter 1 again the other day. Oh,
hell yeah. Because those games are amazing.
Oh, they're so fun. I love them. And I feel like they actually hold up pretty damn well.
Yeah, because the PS1 sometimes is...
Yeah, no, they're a good time. Sometimes it's a little goofy figuring out where the hell you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do, but they're fun. So I don't know how well this one, like if you had to rank the series, I think the PS1 ones were so good. This one probably has a lot to live up to. You guys will have to let us know in the comment section below. I've just never got around to the PS2 ones.
I've only dabbled with it, so I don't know much about it. But if you're looking for a Syphon Filter game on the PS2, this game comes in at $7.29, so pretty decent. And if you played all the other ones or you just want to try it, that's a heck of a deal.
Hell yeah, it is.
Next up on the list is a flying game, and these games are really cool, and I think they're still making them for modern consoles, and that's Ace Combat 4. This game comes in at $7.20 for this bad boy. The Ace Combat games are really cool, but really hard.
There's a barrier of entry, for sure.
And I know like there are some people where it's like Ace Combat is your favorite game because you love like flying a plane. For me, it's so confusing because like,
dude, it's tough.
You're like upside down, and you could just like turn, and like you have all this stuff on the map, and then I didn't realize when I was playing it that you can run out of bullets, so I was just firing like crazy, and I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. But from a technical standpoint, these games are just so polished, so fun, and I'm sure like later in the series they get even better and like the graphics and stuff. But I had a blast with Ace Combat 4. $7.20. If you like those types of games, if you like flying a plane and like being like it's a plane simulator basically, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think Namco did a great job with them. I think it just depends on if that's your style of game.
Yeah.
There's people that really like what Ace Combat has to bring, and there's other people that are like, I want a little bit more of an arcade vibe. Yes, give me like Star Fox or something.
See, I much prefer arcadey style, but these games are really good.
Yeah, for sure. Up next, number 5 comes in at $7.09. It was a launch title.
Yes.
For the PS2. Make some noise for X Squad. Not D-Generation X, X Squad.
X Squad, dude. X Squad is sick. Back in the early 2000s, everybody loved X.
Yeah,
people were obsessed with the X generation.
Yeah.
But X Squad is amazing for the time. It's a little dated to go back to. And the graphics are
a little as he's being generous, but yes.
But I will say, if you grew up in Generation 6 playing these types of first and third person shooters, this will feel like you're right at home.
Yep.
I did have to configure the controls a little bit because it was inverted to begin with, but you can easily change that. It's awesome because there's strafe buttons, and you're running around shooting things.
It's a mission-based third person shooter. And it's a time when that came out, dude. I don't know how well you remember, but those graphics at the time was like, whoa.
Because this is when the PS2 launched, so 25 years ago.
Yeah.
25 years ago, X Squad was pretty cool. Nowadays, it's pretty cheap. $7.09 for this bad boy. But again, if you grew up this generation, at least check it out because I still had fun with it.
Yeah, for sure. There's nothing wrong with it per se. It's just a little
dated,
a little vanilla. I mean, there's far better first or third person shooters on the PS2, but if you find it cheap somewhere, I mean, there's some fun to be had, and then you can always say I beat one of the launch titles for the PlayStation.
Yeah, which is cool, and I'm sure it's not that long of a game either. So X Squad. Number 4 on our list of cheapest PS2 games in our collection, we're going to talk about Nitro Bike. We're cracking under $7 now, $6.98 for this bad boy.
Oh.
1 to 4 players. This is awesome. This game is so fun.
Yeah.
At first glance, you're going to go, this game looks poor, this game looks like trash, this game looks so cheap. I'm going to say yes to all those. But is there fun to be had? Absolutely.
Dude,
there's a cup system and like a campaign kind of that reminds me a little bit of Burnout, where like you can get gold, silver, and bronze, and then you have to fill out. And it's one of those games where it's like a pick up and play. It's not as good as Burnout, but it gave me the same vibe of just like, oh, let's try and 100% this game.
Well, yeah, because the makeup of the races is, I think you've got just like a single lap. You've got like a Grand Prix, then there's like a burning lap type of thing
like
where
a
you have to beat this record, and some of those are hard as fuck,
dude.
man.
So this game, and then you can unlock different characters. There is a thing you can unlock called bowling, which we've never unlocked because we just started playing it. But I want 100% this game. Like I'm having a blast with this.
100%.
Yeah, it's at first glance I was like, this game sucks, and then we played it for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like it is. If you like pick up and play racing games, it's fast. It controls tight.
Yep.
It's so fun, and it's in the Excite Bike universe. I'm pretty sure because like
Excite Truck,
and all that stuff. Because yes, and I also think what's weird is this game is also available on the Nintendo Wii.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. I've never played the Wii version, but on the PS2, it's freaking less than $7.
It's pretty solid.
It's fun.
Yeah. Coming in at number 3, we're going to talk about what happened in your shorts after you ate a bunch of pancakes for breakfast this morning. We're going to talk about a game called Blowout. All right. This game comes in like, what, $6.89?
Yeah, $6.69 for Blowout. This game, first off, the name.
Yeah.
Pick it up because of that.
Yeah.
This game is actually it's a 2D run and gun side scroller kind of, but there's a little bit of like puzzle elements to this game, which is really cool because you're trying to figure out like a path. You've got to backtrack and open doors, and you get different guns.
Not as crazy as like a Metroidvania, but it is very much like
similar.
You got to unlock the map, and inevitably, when you get to this spot, you don't have the key card.
You got to backtrack, and it is cool because there's like you can destroy floors and walls for secret areas and stuff. This game is really fun, and like for less than $7, I think that's a awesome pickup.
Yeah.
If you're trying to find cheap PS2 games that are fun, this game is awesome. And if you like 2D run and gun games, it's a blast. I think it's only single player though, which is kind of a knock on it, but it's still a great time.
Yeah, I think this game is on GameCube as well. I don't know which one. It's probably the cheapest on PS2.
I would assume so. Yeah.
But ton of fun to be had. This game, to me, I would say is a top shelf budget title.
Yes,
is how I would talk about this game. I think it's really cool. The guy's smoking a stogie.
It is cool. Like and also what's really funny about this game is when you're playing it, there's like weird like announcements going on.
Yeah.
And when you get in the elevator, sometimes the lady goes, "Please don't smoke in the elevator."
Yeah.
Or she'll go like, "Breakfast is now serving in the cabin." Like it's just.
Yeah.
It's fun, dude.
It's a pretty solid game. It's not gonna blow your mind by any means, but for the price, I think you should probably give it a go, especially if you like run and gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on to number 2. Pretty dang cheap game, $6.77. There are better entries on the PS2, but why not go back to the beginning with SSX?
SSX, yes, the one that started it all. This game is so sick. If you like snowboarding and if you like arcade playing, SSX is fun.
Yeah. Who doesn't miss the days of EA Big.
EA Big, man. I mean, I will say, if you're going to go back and play SSX, you're probably going to play 3 or Tricky.
Yeah.
Because those are like the best versions of the game. But for the time, SSX was such a big deal. And for less than $7, it's a heck of a deal because the other ones are more expensive. So if you've never played the series and you're trying to collect on a budget, less than $7 for this bad boy, and you get an arcade snowboarding game.
Yeah,
I haven't played it in a while, but I'm sure the soundtrack just rips because it's EA Big.
Yeah,
you know? So back in Gen 6, the soundtracks for all these games were so incredible.
We were spoiled. I think it's a no-brainer. I just love snowboarding games.
Yeah,
so
they are fun, and this one plays pretty tight.
I mean, I've been into snowboarding games since Cool Borders 1, Cool Borders 2, freaking 1080 on the N60.
Yeah, back in the day, they're just fun, dude. And SSX is just like it's the perfect arcade version of snowboarding.
Absolutely.
Now time for our cheapest PS2 game that we have in our collection, and that is Power Drome. Coming in at less than $5, $4.60 for this bad boy CIB, which while it is
$4.60,
which while it is, when we were making this list and coming up with it, we were like, oh, Power Drome is $4.60. We haven't played it, let's dabble with it before we record, and it was sealed.
Yeah.
So it's probably worth more sealed. We cracked the seal, we played it. I will say, I understand why it's less than $5. This game's kind of poor. It's a futuristic racer where you go fast.
Oh, you go so fast.
You go so, but the controls are so loose. Like it is.
But it's kind of fun.
It's kind of fun if you're into fast futuristic racers, but it's definitely it's not a good one.
Yeah, there's better ones for sure. But
it is 1 to 2 player, so that is cool. But less than $5.
It was definitely a budget title back in the day. I think if you picked this budget title up back in the day, it would have been better than you would have thought it would have been for a budget title.
Yes, you got to keep that in mind. Budget title.
Yes. Is there fun to be had? Yes. If you like futuristic racers like we do, you'll find a way to have fun with just about anything, but it's pretty rough.
It's pretty rough, but doing a few races here and there, like that's fun, you know, but and especially if you're on a budget and you want to scratch that futuristic fast racing game, this is a way to do it under $5. Just don't eat lunch for a day and you can play Power Drome.
I would have no problem playing any of these games front to back. Every single one of them is fun enough to get through and have a good time with. I know for sure we're going to 100% Nitro Bike.
Dude, Nitro Bike it's so weird because we've had it for a while, and now I'm hooked for some reason. And it's cheap. That's what's so cool about video games. Like you can still collect and have fun on a budget. Like a lot of these games, they're all under $10.
Yep.
You get a few of these, and that would last you a few months, especially if you go for 100%. And you go for unlocking everything.
Especially
and stuff.
a game like Gran Turismo 3. How much gameplay there is there to
so much depth in that game, you know. And then GoldenEye, like this list is incredible.
And honestly, when you go through this list, I mean, if Sony were to do a mini console at some point, like a PS2 Classic Edition.
That'd be sick.
There's a couple games on here that would, without question, have to be on that. So you would for sure have Gran Turismo 3 on there. There's no debate.
For sure.
You probably would put Socom 1, if not Socom 1 and 2 on there. I think a lot of times they will lean towards the first entry in a franchise for that.
Yeah.
And then there's probably an argument for Syphon Filter to be on there.
Yeah, probably, because there's such a big entry. And it's just maybe an Ace Combat game just because Ace Combat is so big.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know, and they probably will never do it. But the point is, the price doesn't always necessarily mean the quality of the game.
Yeah, I mean, Power Drome, that game's boring.
Yeah.
And it's our cheapest, but still fun.
Yep.
Less than $5. But you know what else is fun and kind of cheap? Is this beer we're drinking today. It's kind of cheap. It's a budget beer, but we can't get it in our area, so it's a little treat. We're drinking Yingling, a traditional lager by America's oldest brewery, Yingling. This is an original amber beer. I think this brewery's been around since like the 1800s.
Yeah, it's the oldest brewery in the U.S.
Which is so wild. This is just an original amber beer. I think this is really big in like the South. They can get it in like Tennessee and like stuff like that. We can't get it in our area in Iowa, but you were able to get a few of them.
I picked some up in Kansas City when I was down there for a concert, and I was like, and maybe we have. We've done so many episodes. I can't remember if we've covered this on the channel
I don't think
before.
we have covered Yingling. This is just a straightforward amber lager. Like if this was in our area, I would drink this a lot.
Yeah.
It's a good, safe bet. It doesn't do anything fancy or anything crazy. It is what it is, but it's crispy and it's delicious.
It's great American lager,
Yeah.
great American beer. If you're into that type of thing, it's not going to knock your socks off, but it's consistent. Every time I go somewhere that has it, I'll buy a case or two.
Yeah, and
it's
like,
pretty solid.
If I ever went to a place and they had Yingling on draft, I'd go absolutely.
Yeah, yes, please.
Like that would be I'm sure, like, in other areas, they probably, this is like an Applebee's beer.
Yeah.
But, like, we just don't have it in our area,
Yep.
so, like, it's on a pedestal for me because I can't get it.
Yep.
But
Yep.
it's still, like, this is, every time I can have it, I love it. It's not going to, I think it's, like, maybe 4%, so it's just a light beer, but
Yeah.
I really like it.
It's good living. It is good living, and it's also good living when you're collecting and playing the PlayStation 2.
Yes.
One of my favorite consoles of all time. I think yours as well. And this series is going to be really interesting to see how it goes. But that is our 10 cheapest games in our personal collection for the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, and what's wild
There's
is...
some rippers.
It's wild is if you want to pick up all the games we talked about, even all 3 Socom games, less than $90 for all 12 of these games.
Yeah.
So you can still collect retro. I mean, retro, PS2, 25 years old.
Yeah.
That's technically retro.
Yeah.
You can still collect older stuff on a budget and still
For
have
sure.
a ton of fun. You get half of these games, you can play them for the next year. You know? So...
I mean, we kind of fall into the prisoners of the moment of wanting the latest and greatest, and there's tons of stuff out there that we never got to or never got around to. Everybody has a backlog.
Yeah, like, dude, instead of buying a brand new PS5 game that's $80, you could get 12
Yeah.
PS2 games for $80.
Well,
so that's pretty cool.
I mean, myself, I'm like looking like, how have I never beat the Syphon filter game? 2 of them.
Yeah.
On PS2, and I
you
love the PS1
you
one
love the
so
PS1.
much.
Yeah, it's just like because during
What
this
am I
era
doing?
you were busy with so many other
Yeah.
things. You know?
What am I doing with my life?
What am I doing?
Why am I excited about the Switch 2 and I got some Syphon filter games to beat? Who knows? But anyway.
Who knows? But that was our 10 cheapest
All
PS2
right,
games.
we'll catch you guys on the next.